Hey, aloha. Welcome to Office Hours for Korean Natural Farming with me, Drake. Here, February 25th, 2024. Yay, I think it's a leap year. We get an extra day this month. Good to see y'all. Thanks for being here. Got an hour of time to answer natural farming questions, or, if you want to bring some topics up and discuss some things, let me know. And we'll get through that and have a good time for an hour and build some community. And got some great people already here, tuned in. But before we get to all that, I'll start with a bit of higher wisdom. And today is Mountain Over Lake. I think it isn't. Yeah, hopefully all the audio and everything's coming in nice. I sounded like I was overblasting that, but yeah, I was kind of sketching out just before I started. Did some different wiring and getting some weird feedback, so hopefully it's not coming through to you. But today is decrease. Be still. Lessen the power of the ego, and misfortune will be avoided. So it is a fact of life that times of decrease come upon us. Our resources are limited, difficulty surrounds us, and our egos generate angry and unhappy emotions. Nonetheless, such times are good for us. If we respond to them by quieting our egos and turning sincerely to the higher power for help, we emerge from a period of decrease stronger, healthier, and wiser. When we discover that we are unable to achieve our goals, our egos become infuriated. We are tempted to harden into anger and bitterness, to lash out, to desperately and aggressively grab for control over the situation. If we do this, however, we only push our own salvation further away. The I Ching counsels us a withdrawal into stillness now. The image of that is that of a spring reverting to the inside of the mountain during a time of drought. By returning to its quiet center during a time of decrease, it avoids evaporating and exhausting itself in vain. You would be wise to follow this example. To try to force progress by arguing, by manipulating, or making excuses will only bring your own downfall. Instead, disengage from your inferior elements, however passionately they seek expression, and turn to the sage for guidance and assistance. The hexagram sun issues a call to sacrifice negative feelings, accept the powerlessness of the ego against the currents of life, and return to contemplation of the principles of the sage. In stillness and meditation, we enrich the higher parts of ourselves and thus bring an end to the time of decrease. Yeah, so tune it down, bro. What you doing? Why are you trying to force things, man? Come on. But yeah, so welcome. Hopefully that is good for you. Hopefully it's good for me. Not quite sure. I don't feel like I got to decrease, but maybe I do. Maybe I got to tune in. Maybe I got to reach some stillness and decrease a few things, because who knows? But happy to be here with you all. Pure KNF Foundation. We got some members in the house doing some good stuff, good work. This we've been covering over the last few office hours the Madaj, Jadam. Getting into that. Last week we did some, went over the kit. So if you didn't see that, check it out, pureknf.org, and then go click on KNF support and go there. And then the office hours, all of them listed there. Yeah, so 2024 bringing some good things. Thanks for sound check on that. I did mess with the volume a little bit, so hopefully see how it goes. If I'm over here, over there, I don't know. I have it what do you call, balance out down there too on the software. So yeah. So yeah, it's good to see Mark in the house. Rainbow Possum Farm from rainy Washington. It's been kind of rainy here too. Slipping and sliding down the valley, installing a hydroelectric pipe, 6-inch HDPE into the valley to generate electricity. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know that this here, the Pierre KNF Foundation, and this office hour is what you would call carbon neutral or whatever. I don't know if that's even a thing, because we run off solar panels, off batteries, and so we're not generating, we're not burning that stuff right now. But however, if you think of it, tons of fossil fuels went into making the solar panels, tons went into the batteries, tons went into transporting them here, all those things. So the whole idea of carbon neutral is just a complete it's a mind control program. So, but just so you know, we are that way, and we're actually going to be hopefully soon running off the river again. So this program brought to you by the Hanavi River. So yeah, what's up, Cheryl? Good to see you coming in from Idaho. Pedro from Brazil. What's up, Brethren? Good. Yeah, we're just talking story actually about both of you. Yeah, what's up? Oh, Stonemason in the house. What's up? Yeah, watch it. The AI is watching. It's gonna make hearts. Is it gonna make hearts? Oh, there, yeah. The AI is watching us. Cool. Thank you. Saludos to the pigs. Yep, pigs. More life, more love. Let all else fade away. Yeah. Besides the, I you say that, but then I hear you not wanting the soil to die. Just love and let the soil die. Come on, Hawkeye. Oh, cool. Yeah, Pacific Northwest in the house. What's up? Yeah. Hope everything's good out there. Yeah, things are good here. Yeah. I don't know. So if you are a member, hopefully you got the membership email. We're working on that, getting those out to our Pierre KNF members. You can join pierreknf.org. And Tennessee. What's up, Nate? Oh, Nate. Yeah. And we got Eyewitness from Florida. We were talking about you yesterday. Bunch of fun guys in the pasture coming up, and I got a brethren here from Alaska right now helping me out to install this hydro, and he was pinching the mushrooms to see if they bruise green or blue, and they do. So he was like, "Yeah, these are legit." I was like, "Yeah, those are legit. I know. If you eat them, you don't die, and you may learn more things." So, yeah. So with that, if anyone got any questions, drop them in. But otherwise, I did want to switch over to this tab over here. Let's see. You may laugh how many tabs I have open. Blue. Yeah, blue. If they're blue, they got the good things. I miss them. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. So let's do this one, that one. Do this. Whoa. Okay, so I was pulling this up, and we've been going over Majab, Jadam, whichever way you say it, forward or backward, it's the same thing. But if you know a little bit more about it, there's no mention here of the roots coming from Master Cho. It's just like it was established in 1991 by Young Song Cho. So no mention of Master Cho or that it came from the book I was showing you. He just wants to start fresh, his own organization, making a clean break, moving forward, doing it. And he claims to have 75,000 members as of March 2020. I wonder what that really means. I wonder if he really has 75,000 members. I mean, I think a lot of people in Korea do it, but I don't know what counts as a member. That's just a big number. You would think there would be more widespread adoption of this if they had 75,000 members. Because, when we go to Korea, we go to a token amount of farms, like a few of them. And I'm not sure. So, so some of this, maybe, what is that? Inflated, or like, you got to talk and like flex big and be like, fake it till you make it kind of thing. Oh, and let me make this bigger so everyone can kind of read along with me. Although it's just a little bit smaller than that, so it fits. Yeah, so 75,000. Oh, and I'll put the mouse on here too. There we go. So the objective of JDAM is to bring farming back to the farmers, restore the farmers' sovereignty and technology, spread an ultra low cost farming method of farming, and ultimately open a new world where farmers, consumers, and Mother Nature are in harmony. That sounds great. That sounds really good. It's a good objective, right? Especially restoring farmers' sovereignty. In technology, you didn't need that part, but we need sovereignty in all aspects, not just technology, but putting the technology back in people's hands. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true, that they're selling more books and that they count each book sale as a member. Because I don't know, 75,000 members sounds like a lot. If that was really achievable, that'd be quite something. So it is, and spreading an ultra low cost method of farming, I highly recommend that you learn this type of farming. Not that you have to use it all the time, but you learn it. Because if the, say the grid went down, or like for some reason your cell phone didn't work, and you were unable to reach this, if you store the skills in your head, then this is like an ultimate, like, if you have nothing, you can still farm, you can still get great fertility, and not just like mining the soil, but you're able to kind of combine these methodologies that are combined in JDAM and still create pretty good fertility and those things. So I think it's always, if you don't know JDAM, Madaj, these ultra low cost methods, I highly recommend that you learn them and learn them quick, because they're really actually super simple. He'll get down to it here where he calls it SESE, simple, easy, scientific, and effective. And it really is simple, easy. I don't know about the scientific, but it's definitely and I'm not sure about the effectiveness. Those two I would question. And those are on a spectrum, I guess. It's definitely more effective than doing nothing, but is it more effective than other methods? Maybe not. And scientific, sure, there's science behind everything. I mean, everything's scientific, right? If you have a hypothesis and then you test things, do experiments, then make a, what is it, conclusion? I don't know. Been out of science fair for a while. And then you have someone else repeat the experiment and they get results. Like, that's scientific, right? It doesn't mean it was good or bad, or that the science backed you up. It just just means you studied it, right? So you can make a study on anything, and so trust the science. Super dangerous thing to say, because it doesn't mean that you had good results or bad results, or that even just the process of science is just like, yeah, you probably should trust the scientific process, but you got to look at who funded it and where it's coming from, and your conclusions. Trusting the science does not mean you're trusting the conclusions. That's for sure. Because we've seen over the past few years that, science, is just a method. It's so trusting the science is just trusting in a method. It doesn't mean you should trust the people that did the science. Anyway, so he goes here and he says, high cost and difficult methods of organic farming cannot spread far and wide. It will only cause more trouble for farmers and agriculture. So this is one of the main things. If you've ever been to his lecture, Young Sancho, he'll start off talking about how, if you use like fertilizer that's manufactured in this complex mining process, huge manufacturing process, you can do well, but the cost is high, and it's also, very difficult in terms of think of all the machinery that it took to make that happen. You can't just do it as one person alone. You can't, maybe, okay, someone out there is like, hold my beer, and it's going to go on the internet, and it's going to go freaking mine the things and build a chemical processing plant and get the oil and do it just to prove me wrong. I know that's how the internet works. But I'm saying, like, practically, unless you're going to make a YouTube video about it, you can't go mine all the things and do it. And it's very complex. But not only that, like, you start to go ask, for recommendations on how to use these things. And it's very specific. You need this chemical at this time and these things, versus if you're using more Jadam or natural farming, you're just getting plant extracts that kind of match the same growth phases, and a few natural things you're able to like ferment at home, and then you're applying them correctly. And it's not that hard of applying them correctly, versus if you're trying to be like, this one element is missing. You break it down in a whole chemical lens, and you're like, this is missing, I need this. And so you buy that specific chemical from that dealer that went through this whole process to extract and make that, available, versus just going and getting like seawater and applying it and just getting every mineral at once in the right dilutions. It requires a whole university degree, whereas you can learn this Jadam system in probably 3 days, 2 days, a day, if you really were on it. It's simple, right? So if you wanted this to spread, it has to be easy, has to be simple. More of us have to do it. And yeah, then the trouble that we have in agriculture and farmers, and plus, once you get chemicals and stuff, you're going to cause imbalance in yourself, which is going to lead to like lower health and cancer and worse food and all those things. But yeah, so Jadam came up with a unique solution of ultra low cost, which I'm not sure if he really came up with this. I'm pretty sure it was him and his dad. I'm not sure Jadam, because Jadam, like, it's like saying an entity came up with something. I think Young Song and his dad and Sona and Sun Young and Robbie and all of his researchers, like, I'm just going to spoiler alert, I'm going to go over to the staff page and say that, it's all these folks. Maybe he just concludes all these folks are Jadam, and that Jadam is these people and there's no difference. But it's more like maybe it's a translation error too, but it's like the people working for Jadam came up with all these things. So anyway, spoiler alert, Jadam came up. It's not, no, okay. I'm not going to nitpick through. I mean, someone's going to go to my website and nitpick through my vocabulary and my things, right? But, I am trying to run an office hour here and get deep into this explanation here. But ultra low cost methods, it's like, this has been happening in nature forever. This is the natural process in an anaerobic sense of what's happening with most of these things. I think he is kind of novel on the sulfur and the soap. But the soap is just Dr. Bronner's. I mean, they've been doing it longer than he has. I think let's just Dr. Bronner's. We used to not pronounce that the R in Dr. Bronner's. When are these guys founded? About, so I'm going Dr. Bronner's here. About when did they? Dr. Story. I should have just asked ChatGPT. When did Dr. Bronner start? Come on, why? Where's the time? They've been doing this a long time though, right? Look at this old lady. Much older than him. Come on, where's the start date? Oh, in the 60s. No. Jewish German soap making roots. Yeah, so this, and then iconic soap. So it was an iconic soap in the 60s. So they were already popular in the 60s. So when Young Song is saying that, he invented the soap, it's like, well, Dr. Bronner's was already doing that. So anyway, okay. So I'm definitely nitpicking here. But came up with a unique solution. I mean, maybe, but people have been using soap in agriculture for a long time. But maybe combining these three. Okay, so we'll give them a little credit. So combining these three. Let's see. Is it in the book? The triangle. Does he show the triangle in the book? Does he? It should be in the first couple pages if he does. I don't know. Who knows? The triangle. No. He's just talking about how expensive it is. I'm flipping through the book here. All right, it's not in there. I should pull up the presentation maybe next time. But anyway, so simple, easy, and Jadam established a complete system of farming after decades of trials. Is it a complete system? Well, that's a far claim. Maybe you can just use pure Jadam. But good luck getting through, what those biological exams and all those things. It does work. I would say more if it's a survival thing, or if you're low budget, that this is the definite thing to go for ultra low cost. And it is simple, easy, and we already nitpicked the scientific and the effectiveness. But the simple and easy, I cannot argue with. This is so simple and so easy. That's why when I teach natural farming, I recommend people start with some of these methods because they're so simple and so easy. It's hard to mess them up because they're already messed up. Anyway, as agro corporations gain more control over the knowledge and technology of farming becomes more expensive. Yes, indeed, because it's, profit-based corporations that have to turn a profit. So you have to get something extracted out of the system. So the farming is going to become more expensive if you're always pulling out, to shareholders of corporations. I guess if you had your own private corporation, maybe you could enrich yourself, but it's just the nature that majority of the large agrochemicals corporations are some of the largest corporations out there. And I think they pay dividends to other folks. So, of course, that's going to make it more expensive for the farmer, unless, of course, you're able to buy all the shares and then it's employee owned. And I don't think that's going to happen in any near time. But this is a common problem faced by farmers of the world as a whole. This is the reason why agriculture is collapsing everywhere. Well, I would say it's not. I'm going to be super nitpicky on this because I would say it's not why agriculture is collapsing everywhere. I guess maybe if you made a bunch of money farming, more people would farm and agriculture wouldn't collapse. But there's so many things going against agriculture from so many ways. We have ecological collapse, but maybe the Jadam, if everyone did it this way, we'd have ecological restoration and actually regeneration. But I don't think that's this is the reason why agriculture is collapsing is because of like greedy corporations. I actually love corporations. Man, look at this shirt. Look at these headphones, hat, this beard. No, the beard's mine. I did not buy this at Walmart. But yeah, there's multiple reasons why agriculture is going down. I mean, it's just, this is one of the major reasons, I would say, but this is the reason. Maybe again, it's lost in translation. Jadam's ultra low cost farming methods will liberate agriculture from the corporations and bring hope for the farmers. And maybe it's different in Korea, but I don't feel like corporations are keeping me down. I feel like in Hawaii, one of the main things I go up against is land value. Like if you're gonna farm, I can farm a couple acres of bananas and basically break even on the gas it takes me to get to the place to sell the bananas, and but if I put that same couple acres into condos or more Airbnbs, frick, I'd be rolling in money. And so it's this competition of the land value of, people want to come to Hawaii for tourism. They only want to pay, $1.25 a pound for bananas. And that's a pretty good price for here. I see bananas delivered to Target from Ecuador or something, like some Central America country. They're selling it for like $1 for like 6 bananas. I'm like, dang, how the hell did it come from all the way across the globe, still get here and still be that cheap? And I'm producing it just up the street, basically, natural farming inputs, and I still can't compete on price. And I would have to go so big with the banana production to even make it so it's like profitable, because, a banana tree is only going to put out bananas every, 9 months, a year, whatever, like, and then I don't have consistent production every week, because the bananas become heavy in the summer and not so much in the winter. And it's like, okay, so to make consistent, but you'd have to plant so much bananas to buy that much land. You'd have to pay millions. So I don't think it's a corporation necessarily stepping on my throat. Maybe I'm misguided. I tend to favor corporations and capitalism. I'm not like into, doing all this work, giving it to a central government and then them telling me how much I can have back, communist model. Not that into that. But me growing them, having it, and I get to set my price, and if people buy it, and then we have fair market exchange, like awesome. So, and here, the whole slavery, the whole exploitation, the whole economic chains on us, and the inflation stealing all my money and stuff, because they print money. It has nothing to do, the whole inflation's caused by printing money. So every time they print money, it's your money's worth less. That kind of stuff, you can get into all that, but I don't see it as corporations unless you say that, United States corporation, is a corporation. And yeah, that corporation is pretty limiting in terms of they will come with guns and mess me up if I don't do what they say, right? And so that's pretty limiting. But I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he's talking about like, agrochemical corporations. And I don't feel like that's, maybe you have a different opinion, but I don't feel like that is the corporations holding me down. And Mark brings up a good point here. Hedge fund billionaires owning houses is the problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's not the problem. It's a problem. And it's probably a big problem, because if you don't have equity in your own stuff, how the heck are you going to invest? What's your incentive? And that's the cool thing about Jadam, is it lets you just get a small plot of land, or even your neighbor's land, or even, BlackRock's neighborhood, and go to them and say, well, look, I'll do your landscaping for you. And, in exchange, I'll keep it nice, and you do this, and, talk to, they're people, right? I mean, they may be reptiles too, but so there are a few people, at least, in there, I think, unless it's all AI algorithms, it may be that too. But just, say please and thank you, and say, imagine if this, and just hack the prompt to get it so that you can grow. And then land's everywhere, right? Right. Some people are like, I don't have land. It's like, well, there's land everywhere, right? It's about just aligning yourself to feel like you're powerful, because, and that's what this thing, Jadam over here talking about the sovereignty, right? Gives you back. Like, you can make fertilizer, you can make these things. I think that is liberating. So with a lot of the problems we do face, I think it is doing that. Yeah, and investing the profits back in the soil, that's a good one. All one and the same, yeah, so all these things here, yeah, and there's difference between financial capital and industrial capital. Financial capitals tends to be wicked. Industrial capital tends to be great. So there's differences in capital. So understanding those differences is, yeah, very important. So anyway, I disagree with this in terms of, but I do think that Jadam can liberate us in a lot of ways. Some of the, climate change, if you want to call it that, or whatever, desertification is probably a better word to say, that's occurring on our globe, with just a little bit of Jadam, a little bit of, the age of Aquarius, mix up these waters and spread the water on the land, right? All us hippies get in the age of Aquarius and do this. It can liberate us. So I highly recommend that, learning and doing it. And so Jadam's system is a do-it-yourself making of natural pesticides. It's interesting to me that he starts off that way, or has a do-it-yourself. Okay, I guess, okay. I was thinking he was saying, like, he was starting to say Jadam is natural pesticides, because the fertility and the nutrition is also huge. Before you get to pesticides, you should have, if you don't have fertility and you don't have like soil fertility and plant nutrition, then you shouldn't be doing pesticides. You should start there, because pesticides, you'll just continually fight pests, versus you start with soil fertility and plant nutrition and get those going first. You'll find that the bugs are way less. And then once you got those two taken care of, then go to pesticides and killing and just, getting the picture perfect crop so you can get that top dollar so that you can become a capitalist instead of, or just be a communist and give it away, perfect fruit to people. Either way. And I'm not saying that those are the only two dichotomies here either. Just tends to be the ones that people get all amped up about, especially on the internet. And then he says these are organic and environmentally friendly, yet are no less effective than commercial ones. And I would argue that they are definitely less effective. But however, the larger impact there may be more effective if you look at the larger impact. So, it's like saying that coca leaves are good versus cocaine. It's like, right, you do some cocaine, you're going to be freaking jacked, versus you just do coca leaves, you'll get an effect. But the commercial ones, like they're selling like cocaine in large, it's kind of a weird analogy, but you do enough cocaine, it's probably going to ruin your life. I don't know. I mean, doesn't it all depends. I mean, each person has their own deal, but there's definitely a difference. And so when it says no less effective, it all depends on your bigger goal and what you're doing. But the concentrated like things where you throw fertilizer and just boom, it's an explosion in the soil. I mean, those are bomb making materials, and it's just plants just grow. And then you could get the same stuff with Jadam, but biology tends to be less boom, boom than chemistry. Chemistry just explodes and goes back. So biology is always more timid. And so you can confuse that with effectiveness, but not necessarily. So, what's up, Cub? Yeah, get her done. So this allows you to go organic and low cost at the same time. So, yeah, sometimes people confuse organic with expensiveness, but there's absolutely no reason for that. You can go Jadam, get those, low cost. It's disgustingly low cost. And conventional farmers can benefit too, using the inputs, because it saves them huge cost. So, and I don't think you have to juxtapose and make this definitive line between conventional and organic, because you still have conventional organic. There's just, bringing biology into it and bringing those things in, that's where it's at. So, he's over there doing his thing. Kind of breaks my concentration when I have someone come in here while I'm doing this. So I apologize for that. I'm just like kind of lost my flow here, but it's all good. And this is the part, where, when I say, Jadam, Madaj, all these things, it says, Jadam has not patented any of its knowledge, but shared it through seminars, books, and website. And, so some people might get upset that I'm saying, oh, Madaj, and making it backwards, or Jadam, or I call it disgustingly low or disgustingly cheap, fertilizer, or disgustingly cheap solutions. Some people might get upset with me, but it's open source, man. You can take open source stuff and you can remix it your own way. It's actually public domain type of stuff, more than open source. There's no licensing to this. It's not like I signed the GNU GPL or something, or anything. It's just, he taught me. I can teach it how I like. And but I do give credit where credit's due. I do talk about Young Song a whole lot. And I'm not trying to be like, I made this. Whereas he kind of just says, I made this. And it's like, it discounts all the people that came before, and even his father and all these things. And I'm like, bro, so I try to give credit where credit's due. Here we're at the site. I'm not trying to hide any of this to be like, oh, I made this. Right? No, here we are. I'm just trying to share and promulgate and spread things. And I figured this is a good thing, because who the heck goes this deep into this? I don't know. Maybe someone else. It was maybe at first on the internet. I just watched a Sam Pilgrim video where he wore an Apple Vision Pro, and did a backflip on a bicycle wearing the Apple Vision Pro. Anyway, if you're on YouTube, do check that out after this. Just search Sam Pilgrim Apple Vision Pro. It's freaking hilarious. Ridiculous. So Jadam's not patented. Why is it not patented? Well, because you can't patent natural processes. As much as he wants to pretend like he's benevolent and whatever, you can't even patent it. So why is it not patented? Because you can't patent it. You can trademark it. Sure, you can trademark Jadam. I'm pretty sure Jadam is trademarked, although it doesn't appear to be. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works across international borders either. But you could, trademark your name. And then that's why I would have to say Madaj, because if Jadam was trademarked, then I would have to use a different word to refer to it, because I'm not going to pay a royalty to say the word. But I do want to give credit where credit's due. And so anyway, and his books are great. I would only recommend this one, actually. The other ones are kind of just not recommendable. But this one definitely is. Madaj. The orange one. It seems to have a thing with orange. I'm the original inventor of orange. It's like, no, bro. People have been hunting with hats like that since forever. And so he had 2 inventions, and he figured these out by getting blacked out drunk. I always like quantifying that. But the sulfur and the wetting agent. So the sulfur, he's going to say 2 great inventions. I don't think so, because like I just said over here, Dr. Bronner's has been doing the soap since the 60s. So when he said he invented the soap, it's like, I don't know, bro. And the sulfur, the only thing, like what he invented was a way of doing it with sodium hydroxide, so lye, and doing it with, because they used to make sulfur by heating it with big drums and heating. But now he did it with just sodium hydroxide and makes it that way. And so I guess, the method of making sulfur he kind of popularized is maybe a way of doing it, but saying he invented it, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. And he also gives it away at jadam.kr, which we're at the English version of that here. And it says Jadam will continue to work and further develop and refine its system. Definitely they do. They've been working at this. He's always testing things. There was I don't know if I have it on my YouTube. There's a video where we were in Maui, and after the seminar, he had lectured all day, and then we're sitting there and they're drinking beers and vodka, and I'm just drinking apple cider because I don't do alcohol. And bugs kept flying over to us as we're sitting in this picnic bench kind of outside under a light, and he kept capturing all the bugs, and then he would mix up different mixes and spray it on them to see, and put them in the petri dish and see if it was effective against them. So even as he's like sitting having, like after hours Pauhana drinks, he's working and doing this and refining the system. And so yeah, so that's what Jadam is. This is their introduction, me dissecting it and going through and be like, well, I don't know about that. But what could be worse than someone nitpicking through your cross-translated? Because I'm sure this wasn't written in English. I'm sure it was written in Korean and then translated across. So, fair amount lost in translation as well. But so anyway, Young-Sung Cho, this guy right here, I was looking for the picture of him with the oh, this is the one I think I was looking for. This picture, it's really hard to see, but this one. Or no, that's not the one. He's standing there. There's one where he's like a cowboy with his thing. Oh, anyway. So he graduated, 1965. He's a dragon, if you're curious. He went to some high school, I'm sure it was prestigious, and then he went to chemistry at Aju University. I'm sure that's prestigious. And then he got a master's in horticulture from Cheongnam University, which I know this one is prestigious. This is one of the, a national university. So this is super prestigious in Korea. It's like going to like Yale or some shit. And then he served in special forces. I tried to look up Unit 706, what they were doing. I could only find couldn't find Unit 706 to see what he was doing. But he was some sort of special forces. He went to Assad to farm. I don't know what the Assad is. And then in 1990, he doesn't talk about his dad at all in here. I'm like, what the heck, man? Why not mention your dad? But he just, I think he wants to claim it for himself. You know, you always got to watch out for folks like that. I did this. It's like, maybe, maybe decrease a bit of that ego. So he established JDAM, meaning, and people are like, what is JDAM? They think it's an acronym. It actually means people that resemble nature. And let's double check that here and go to translate that. And just see what it says. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say JDAM. And I want this to be in Korean, JK, Korean. Oh, and to English, so JDAM. It just means JDAM. So it doesn't have it doesn't have this. Maybe it's slang. But Ray also, when he was telling me, it means like hippies. So maybe it's just slang. But yeah, it means it's not an acronym. It doesn't stand for like whatever. I can't think of an acronym on the fly, but it doesn't stand for anything like Japanese agriculture done. Yeah, it doesn't stand for. It's not an acronym. It just means hippies or people that resemble nature. In 1991, and then opened JDAM.kr here in 91. And vast majority of that was in Korean at that time. I showed you the other books I had that were, and he called it ultra low cost agriculture. So I don't think it was called JDAM until more recently. I think it was, or maybe it was JDAM as like a overarching thing, because if it was JDAM.Korea, let's look that up. Who is, and then we'll see whois.com. We'll just go JDAM.kr and see who is the registrar. When was it registered? I'm just fact checking live. It looks like it was registered in 2013. 2013, September 22nd, 2013. So when he says it was founded in 1991, maybe he let the thing lapse, but that's also not true. Not, why not fact check things we can fact check? But I'm just, maybe it's fun to say that you did it in 91 so you get more street cred, but this was actually registered in 2013. So I think they rebranded from ultra low cost to JDAM in 2013. Must have, because that's when the domain was registered, 2013. So, when you claim things, it's like someone's going to fact check you. Anyway, so talk about nitpicking. Maybe I should decrease some of the ego here. Hopefully I'm not sounding egoic on this. I'm just trying to go through this and decrease it. Trying to decrease his claims here a little bit. Just be honest, man. Just be honest. Why not say, we did JDAM in 2013. We started in 1991. Maybe it's lost in Korea. Yeah, one of the coolest dads out there. That's what Eyewitness is saying. Master Cho, his dad, one of the coolest guys. No mention of that. No mention of that. No mention of that. It's like, I did this, and, well, what'd you do before 1991? Because I think he was working with his father until like 2010. So when he says he did this in 91, it's like, no mention of that. Like, no mention of that. Man. Anyway, that's what happens when you fact check. It was probably 2012 that they split apart. Somewhere in there, and that's when he went out to do JDAM instead of doing with his father. Because there are pictures of him on his father's lap in the Master Cho's book. He's sitting on his father's lap. So I do know he has a dad. I do know who his dad is. I think he's done with the bathroom back there. He didn't close the door. Hopefully he didn't bomb it too bad. Door's open now. Oh my gosh. If I pass out, you know why. Um, so, um, so yeah, and yeah, people are saying I combine lacto with Dr. Bronner's to use as a spray. Yeah, people have been using soap, and Dr. Bronner's has been used since a long time. So below are some of Mr. Cho's inventions, innovations. Is it Young Song or his father, Mr. Cho, Mr. Cho? Um, it's and it is his principle to open and share all knowledge instead of patenting them. Well, we already said this, that you can't patent these things. So no matter how greedy he wants to be, you can't be greedy in this realm. And this is to fight against the knowledge being owned by corporations. Well, I mean, you try to claim that, but it's not possible, bro. I mean, go try and patent these things. You're gonna get patent rejected unless you create some novel thing, which nature is already. So, anyway, some of his inventions. Well, inventions or innovations. Innovations, I would say, is maybe more of a better thing. Like just like Master Cho, he didn't invent a whole lot of stuff, but he combined things and he modified things. Oh, that was crazy. But it's more of like a synergy of bringing things together. So innovation is probably a better word than invention. So you're saying he made natural wetting agent, no heating. Well, I hate to say it, buddy, but that's how people have been making soap since the 60s, at least. There's probably before that, right? Because that's all I could find with Dr. Bronner's, who's one of the large commercial, exactly pretty much the same recipe, liquid soap that they sell to you. So and the Dawn Dish Corporation. Let's look at that. It's a Dawn Dish Soap company. Is it called? What is that company called? Dawn Dish Soap? DawnDish.com. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there's Dawn brand. Let's just look at the Lyingpedia. Introduced in 1973. Okay, so Dawn Dish Soap, same thing since 1973. So that's 51 years ago. Thanks for doing the math for me. So just saying, it's a little bit before 1991 there. And they'd use this exact same method. So, in saying you invented it, that's, or innovated, I don't know. Palmolive, synergistic, yeah. And then the sulfur, this sulfur, I'll give it to him. I'm not sure. I'm sure it's well known to do this. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But he did popularize it for farming, that you can do this at your own place, doing it this way. And that's just using sodium hydroxide in with the sulfur. And there's a little bit more to the recipe. Don't just do that. And there's certain ratios. You have to be super careful with the chemicals because it can blow up. And it's super gnarly to get boiling freaking sulfur on you. Not saying I don't have personal, but yeah, wear goggles, gloves, hazmat, the whole deal. Anyway, be careful. I didn't tell you to do it. And then he says natural microorganisms made with potatoes. I don't know if that was an invention. Popularized it, sure. Gave it a name, sure. Just named it, Ray actually gave him the name to be Jadam Microbe Solution. I call it disgustingly cheap microbes, but that was actually in Master Cho's book. Maybe potatoes was novel to it, but using rice wash water was the starch they used in the book. So maybe the potatoes is novel that he's trying to claim here. That's great. Made microorganisms with mixed grains. Mixed grains. Okay, this mixed grains. Come on, that was his dad doing it with rice. Okay, but mixed grains, I don't know. Maybe it's like, and even Elaine talks about brewing microbes with oats and stuff. And, I don't know. Okay, but he's going to go on these claims. That's cool. We'll give it to him. Made liquid fertilizer without sugar or molasses. Okay, but I'm pretty sure people have been doing the comfrey in water that since forever. So saying you invented it without sugar or molasses, it's just like saying I took my dad's technology and I totally cut out the important parts and I invented it. It's like you take a car and you dent it and then you're like, yeah, I made this car because you dented it. It's like, Not quite sure there. Anyway, I'm not trying to hate on this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hate. I'm just trying to like decrease these claims a bit and just fact check a little bit here. Anyway, I'm not. And then natural pesticide against rice Bacane disease. Okay, we'll give them that. I don't know, because I don't know anyone else who claims this. I'm not even sure what Bacane is. I do know what it looks like in the back of the book. He made a natural pesticide against canker and leaf spot. Yeah, give them that. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure people have done this. Natural pesticide against powdery mildew and downy mildew. It's called lactobacillus. Anyway, I'm not sure, but we'll give them that. Aphids and mites. People have been killing aphids with soap since forever. Hard to give them that one. Natural pesticide against tobacco moth and beet armyworm. Sure, I don't know much about that. I'm not a huge tobacco grower, so I don't know. And I don't. Beet armyworm sounds pretty gnarly. So we'll give them that one too. Again, stink bug and mealybug. I'm pretty sure it's just soap and spraying it during the day and they pop. Stops the mealybug. Maybe a little bit of sulfur in there. We'll give them that. Maybe it's a combo. Slug and snail. I mean, how natural pest. I mean, you got to go with Sluggo, right? The copper, keeping them at bay, right? I don't know. We'll give them that. Well, we'll semi give them that. Natural pesticide against citrid, flattened plant hopper and leaf hopper. I don't know anything about that. I'm sure it's in the book, actually. We'll go look through this if we got time here. Although as we're getting through it. I can't believe just one webpage took a whole hour. But natural pesticide against rice water weevil, surface spreading agent. Sounds like soap. But maybe he did with some sulfur and some herbs in there too. And maybe some of these have herbs in them. I'm not discounting everything here. I'm saying, maybe these are some combos. We'll look through and see the recipes and see what they actually are. And then comprehensive pesticide for rice. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could go and find comprehensive pesticides. I'm sure like every university talks about that. Plus Master Cho has a whole book on rice that was published before 1991. So, okay. Anyway, eliminating flies from livestock housing. I don't know. I should get this recipe from him because see if it actually works. Complete fertilizer program for crops. That's a big claim. I mean, to say you invented that, I mean, sure, I guess. And then naphthalene pesticide. So naphthalene pesticide. It sounds like using gasoline to kill things. And Master Cho talked about that. So maybe he developed it with Young Song, but I've heard that directly from Master Cho. So I think this is missing a little bit of his history from his dad and the rich history. And it would be nice to see that updated and to see that come in instead of just like, this dude did this. It's like, you're standing on the shoulder of giants, man. Come on. Give a little bit of credit where credit's due. Anyway, hope this was helpful for you. Hope you were seeing, how all this fits together, what goes into this. But, if you got an ego, you got to have a great ego and do it and get through. So let's see. Jadam Education Center. We're going to click on that tab. This is his Tajon Center. I went here. There's a video of us going here. Mint. Mint gets rid of ants. This center, this is where we went with Young. Master Cho sat in the back. We reunited Young Song with Master Cho. Dr. Park was crucial in facilitating that. I don't know if well, one thing is Young Song doesn't speak English, so it's hard for him to watch my episodes. But Sun Young here, this is Sun Young. She could translate it for him, or Robbie. Robbie's also super cool. Love Robbie. Great guy. They both speak English. They're both educated in India, and they help Young Song translate. So I don't know if he watched my episode. Maybe he could go and make an episode where he goes through my website and then debunks me, because I'd love to see that. It'd be great. It'd be like great camaraderie, helping each other. And like I say, I'm not trying to be a hater here, but the decrease on all this, I'm trying to just, I don't know. I actually just wanted to go over this webpage. I didn't know that it would turn out this way. I just started to go and that's fake news, So I'm not trying to Anyway, if you take this as like I'm hating on it or anything, it's like that's not my vibe. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. I'm just trying to elucidate things and go through this. So, but I would love it if you would go through my website and be like, that's false news. I made that, or whatever. But when I was talking about his 75,000 members here, when I went there, I saw all these names. And this is around 2,000 names of Jadam regular donors. And they make these wooden plates. And this is right in the lobby. This is just like, as you come in through this door, you end up seeing this counter right in front. And then you turn to the left here, this direction, and you see this where there's, kind of displays of what they're doing. But also on this back wall facing away from that counter, there's all these names. And these are all the people that are helping contribute to help fund them to make this possible, which is cool. I'm totally into that. That makes sense. If you're out there and it benefited you, it would be great to see. In sharing the names, sharing the members, getting these things together. Like that's how you can build an organization to get reach, to make these methods happen. Because if you believe in the mission, you believe in the cause, and these people believe in the Jadam cause, and then eventually, like, look, they got this nice learning center and things. Like, this ain't cheap to run. This isn't Tajon. Like, I'm sure their rent is super high and they need support. And I'm saying, go support these guys. They're great. Just give a little bit more credit to your dad and lessen your little bit of, I invented all this. It's like, bro, it's soap. Like, we had soap a long time. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be like hating or anything. If you take it as hate, then, you got to know that we're both friends. This is, it's like I'm complimenting my friend in front of everyone by pointing out his flaws. Anyway, look at this little awesome TV thing he has. You can broadcast live. And then here's this table. I love this. It says a small space for discussion of natural pesticides. If you talk about anything else at this table, they're going to throw you out the window. Natural pesticide only. It's like, what about plant soil fertility and plant nutrition? No discussion of that at this table. Only natural pesticide. Anyway, no, I'm not. But look, he gets intense. He's just like me. When he gets so full of passion, and all these people are just like, is that so? Is that so? And look at that. Like, imagine, one day maybe Pure KNF will have this kind of lecture hall and people will come through. Right now, we just got this virtual one. Like, you're here, there's 200 people just like this right now watching this. You just can't see them, right? They're all there. If everyone put in the chat just like, hey, you'd see how many people are watching. There's like literally 200, just like this huge audience right now watching this. And you are at, a Jadam lecture in English from me that, I'm trying my best to like bring the truth into this and represent it. So anyway, that's his learning center. Pretty awesome. His organic farm, this is his old organic farm because this one was just outside of Tajon. This is where I visited. This is where the classic painting is. I don't know if you've seen this. It's pretty popular. But that's Tajon over there. Or I don't know if that is Tajon. But it's near, that's maybe an apartment complex nearby. But this is their old farm. They had to move. This river got flooded. They flooded this thing to do something. I don't know what they were doing. They were building a dam while I was there. So, but they ended up flooding it. But this is his old farm. He does all this research. I mean, this is where he's testing the things. And no doubt he gets results. Like, no doubt. It's awesome. But then they can't sell any of the produce because of, I don't know, whatever. They donated it all. And here's their pesticides. Sun Young sitting there looking good. Right on, Sun Young. There's their hat. Very important. And then, here's Mr. Yang, or I forget. Mr. Ju, I think was his name. No, Mr. Ja. No, was it Mr. Ja? I don't know. Anyway, this dude's super cool. He was the sulfur guy, the chemistry guy. He's showing everyone how to do this stuff. Their little outdoor shower in case you get chemicals in your eyes. Wash station, very essential. And then here, this dining room. I was in this dining room one time with Dr. Park, and he was a little tipsy, and he was singing into a spoon, and just, oh man, so sweet. And we ate just really good sushi, but I got the least respectful seat over here, which was cool. There was some high level ballers there, I can take that. And then there they are, the Cho family and staff. Sona, Young Sung, Sun Young, Robbie, or that's Sona. Sorry, that's not Sona. That's Sona. And then all behind, it's really cool. You get to see his pesticides and the different mixes, the different things he's made. Super cool setup. Really, really amazing. Inspirational. And he just served the most amazing food. I'm so humbled by, how he hosted us so well. And just, like raw sushi, all this great stuff. Just, I don't know if soju, I didn't drink anything. It always irritates him when I don't drink because it's like rude or something, but I'm like, heck no, I ain't drinking. And then I did take a poop in this bathroom here. This is his composting toilet. Amazing. There's a mirror in front of it. There's a picture of me like in my jacket taking a poop in this, so I contributed. So some of this amazing growth you see here is from my butt. Yes, I'll have you know. I did poop in here and helped the fertility. And unlike most things in Korea, they had toilet paper instead of bidet. Bidet would have been nice, but I guess maybe the composting toilet bidet is not compatible. I don't know. But, Anyway, yeah, that's, I was going to get into the recipes and go through the herbs, but maybe this was a good bring in for next time, because in the back of the back of this book, he does give all these, why am I still like that? Let me go back to this. So in the back of the book here, he gives these recipes for these things that he said he invented. So maybe next week, if no one has any good questions, which is fine with me, I got plenty to share, but we'll go through some of these and we'll see some of his inventions and we'll go over these and we'll go through these. And if you are going to have a toilet, just set it up like the pig pen and, in a living floor, and you can go and spread those around, yeah. You don't like that Young Sung is covering the soil with plastic, but it's a labor thing, and we live in this world, all these things. Okay, I'm just looking through. Nice ant solution put in there. And if you can get rid of the aphids, you get rid of the ants too. The ants farm the aphids. It's kind of like a reciprocal thing. They eat the sugar that comes out of their butt. Anyway, so those things, great, cool. Yeah, no, we went through this. Yeah, living toilet, throw in bio in there, living floor, recycle your poop. One thing that Young Song, when he would lecture, he would have everyone in the audience agree that they would not throw away their poop and their urine anymore because those are great fertilizers. And it's true. It's just, it's not necessarily commercially acceptable. And if people find out your veggies are grown with crap, animal poops is fine, but human poop, they're like, oh, it's like the Drake meme where it's like animal poop and then it's like human poop, Anyway, call me on my cell phone. Anyway, so hours up. I'm busy this week, man. I am going down to the river. I'm actually welding some plastic pipe after this and having a good time. So, but I think I'll be back next week. Maybe Cub and I can do some interviews, because I was talking to him and I was talking about the lacto in a sense, fermenting. He's like, I use lacto. So he doesn't know much about KNF at all. In fact, he wouldn't even, if I said KNF, he'd be like, what are you talking about? But might be interesting just to interview him for the office hours and just see someone that has no idea what KNF is, how much they already know about KNF without knowing that it was called KNF, because it's just an acronym. And these methods don't necessarily even come from Korea. And if you don't know the history and these things, you could just think Young Song Cho invented this. And it's like, bro, let me fact check that. And if you're interested, watch the rest of the episode back there. Subscribe, like, share, or just, be cool. Being cool, actually, definitely be cool and do all those things. But thanks for tuning in. If you check out pureknf.org, become a member. We are going to have a membership meeting coming up in March, and well worth it. So check it out, pureknf.org. Up in the upper right corner, it'll say membership. Click on that, join. We do have documentaries for you, and we're working on more, getting all those things together. But you got to have patience with us. We're a small team. We don't have 75,000 members, but one day maybe we will. And when we do, then we'll have a staff of good folks to help out and make all this happen. Love you. Appreciate you. Thanks for being a great person. Continue to do good for the world. So, hey, Cecily. Hey, everyone coming in at the last minute. What's up? So, yo, Brazilian time. Cool. And thanks, Nate. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you and everything you helped to get me through in this life. So it's cool to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love to everyone. Yeah. I can't thank everyone because I'd be here for another hour. But I can make hearts come out because the AI is watching, and a thumbs up. Check that out. Watch. Oh, whoa. So weird. Okay, cool. All right. I am going to get out of here and go do things I need to do. I'm just going to click the right thing over here. And then I'm going to cut out. So it's going to be quick. You ready? Bye.